Leslie, do you have a moment? Hello, Haley. Sure, I have some time. The birthday dress you showed me on your phone the other day, it was stunning. The color, the design, it all looked so luxurious. May is a very lucky girl to be able to wear such an amazing dress as that on her birthday. Thank you. Actually, it was a gift from my husband's parents. They went through a lot of trouble getting that dress for May, and we are so thankful for what they were able to do. You're going to have her wear it to school, right? When is that happening? We're planning to go this Sunday afternoon. Oh, that's lovely. Are you going to take commemorative photos as well? Yes, we are. My father-in-law happens to have a friend who owns a photo studio, so we're planning to take the photos there. Wow, that sounds amazing. So extravagant and thoughtful. Meanwhile, in our family, things aren't so rosy. My husband's family barely gets by with their low salaries, and my husband himself is on such a meager paycheck. For Miley's birthday, we didn't get a single thing to celebrate. Can you believe that? Not even a token gift. Oh, I see. I'm not really sure what to say to that in response. That's all you've got to say? I beg your pardon? I mean, come on. You know what I'm getting at, don't you? I'm sorry, Haley, but I'm not sure I do. Could you clarify? Oh, seriously, you are so dense sometimes. I'm really sorry if I'm missing something here. What I'm saying is, how about giving May's birthday dress to Miley? That would solve everything. Excuse me? What on earth are you talking about? Like I just mentioned, it's a gift from my husband's parents. It's not something I can just give away to someone else. Wow, stingy much? Your father-in-law is some kind of high-level company executive, isn't he? Surely he can afford to buy you another dress. Just ask him for another one. That's not the point here. This isn't about whether or not we can get another dress. It's about treasuring the thoughtfulness and the sentiment behind the gift they sent us. Oh, come on. If you're so focused on treasuring thoughtfulness, how about considering my heartfelt desire to give Miley a proper birthday celebration? I just want to make sure my daughter has something special to wear on her big day. Are you seriously going to dismiss that? Doesn't that seem a little contradictory to your values? If you're so set on making your daughter's birthday special, shouldn't you, as her mother, take responsibility and arrange something for her? Isn't that what being a parent is all about? That's exactly why I'm coming to you and asking for your help. All you need to do is say, sure, you can have it, and this whole thing is solved. Miley gets to have a proper birthday celebration, and we all go home happy. Why are you being so difficult about this? Just give me the dress already. I'm sorry, but no, I can't do that. Wow, you're seriously so stingy. Fine, if you won't give it to me, how about just letting Miley borrow it on Sunday morning? What? You said May is wearing it in the afternoon, right? That means it's free in the morning, doesn't it? No, it doesn't work like that. There's time needed for dressing her up and getting everything prepared. And besides, why should Miley get to wear it first? It's my daughter's dress, not hers. Oh, for heaven's sake. You're the one who's being stubborn and refusing to give it to me, so here I am trying to compromise. I'm not asking for the dress permanently anymore. I'm just asking to borrow it for a few hours in the morning. And since you're using it in the afternoon, there shouldn't be any problem. I'm even going out of my way to adjust the schedule for you. Honestly, you're the one being unreasonable right now. If you're so concerned about it, why don't you just rent a dress? There are plenty of rental shops where you can get a nice dress for around $100. What? Why would I waste my money on that? If I can just borrow May's dress, it won't cost me a single cent. Why would I go out of my way to spend money unnecessarily when there's a simple and cost-free solution right in front of me? Wait, are you seriously calling your own daughter's birthday celebration an unnecessary expense? That's just... I don't even know what to say to that. All right then, I'll come by to pick up the dress on Sunday morning. What? No, I never said I'd lend it to you. Stop being so selfish and acting like a child. By the way, I remember you're good at putting on dresses, aren't you? I'll bring Miley along so you can help her get dressed too. Absolutely not. I am not lending the dress, and I am certainly not helping with the dressing. Leslie! Hey, can you hear me? Open the door already. I'm here to borrow the dress like we talked about. Oh, and Miley is here too. She's been so excited about this all week, she wouldn't stop talking about it. The dress! And don't forget the fitting. Hurry up and let us in, will you? Good morning, Haley. I'm sorry, but our family left the house last night and we're not home anymore. What? What's that supposed to mean? Exactly what I said. To avoid any unnecessary trouble on such an important day, my husband and I decided it would be better to go to his parents' house yesterday evening. What is wrong with you? Miley was so excited about today. She's going to be crushed. Don't you care about her feelings at all? The only person responsible for this unfortunate situation is you. Let's not pretend otherwise. But you promised. You said I could borrow the dress. No, I didn't. I told you very clearly that I wouldn't be lending the dress or helping with the fitting. I've said this more than once. Stop making excuses and just come back already. It's not fair that May gets to have her perfect birthday while we're scrambling to get things together over here. Do you realize that my in-laws are coming over this afternoon? My mother-in-law is terrifying, Leslie. If Miley doesn't have her birthday dress ready in time, I'll be the one who gets blamed. Do you want that? Wait a minute. Are you seriously telling me you didn't make any preparations yourself and were just relying on me to sort everything out? I don't care about any of that. I am telling you to come back right now. I can't. That's impossible. We've gone to my in-laws' house to celebrate Mary's birthday. I don't care about your plans. Just come back already. If you don't, I'll tell all the other moms that Leslie broke her promise and ruined Miley's special day. How would you like that? Actually, I've already contacted your husband. What? You contacted my husband? Yes, I did. Now, would you care to explain how we ended up in this mess? What are you talking about? From what I understand, your in-laws gave you money specifically to buy Miley's birthday dress. And not just a little, they gave you enough to get something really nice, complete with accessories. Well, yeah, but... And yet here you are, having done absolutely nothing. Instead, you plan to borrow May's dress and pass it off as Miley's. Don't tell me you spent money on something else and now you have nothing left for Miley's dress. If that's the case, what exactly did you spend the money on? Why would you go behind my back and contact my husband? And how do you even have his number? Wait a minute. Don't tell me. Are you having an affair with him? Excuse me? What are you even talking about? That's the only explanation that makes sense. You have been acting so cold towards Miley and me lately. You're probably doing all this to humiliate me and get back at me. You're a homewrecker, aren't you? I can't believe what I'm hearing. This is absolutely ridiculous. Our husbands work at the same company, remember? They're in different departments, but they're colleagues. What? Oh, they don't interact much, but they exchanged numbers at a company event. That's how I was able to contact him. No. This can't be happening. By the way, something you said earlier caught my attention. You mentioned that your in-laws are coming in the afternoon. Did I hear that correctly? Yeah, so what? Well, according to you, Miley only needed to borrow the dress for the morning. So why would your in-laws, who are presumably coming to see Miley all dressed up, be arriving in the afternoon? Why are you nitpicking such irrelevant details? It doesn't matter. Wait a minute. Were you planning on not returning the dress at all? That's not true. Your husband just sent me another update. What now? He told me that the reason you came here was only for the fitting because the dress was supposedly purchased with the money your in-laws provided. He said it was left in my care for today's celebration, but here's the thing. I never agreed to do the fitting, nor have I been entrusted with any dress. So what's going on here? Well, it's just... Your husband is currently rushing to buy Miley a new birthday dress. What? Apparently, he remembered that one of his old classmates works at a dress shop. He contacted them on the off chance they'd have something suitable, and luckily they do. Now he's on his way there, but he is furious because you wouldn't answer his calls. But If you're really worried about Miley, you should stop wasting time and follow your husband's instructions. No way, I don't want to get scolded. Hey, does your house have a place where I can hide? You've got to be kidding me. Running away now is only going to make things worse. I don't want to hear it. This whole thing is your fault anyway. If you hadn't been so stubborn, we wouldn't be in this mess. Excuse me, my fault? I gave you plenty of notice that I wasn't lending the dress or helping with the fitting. You should have just done it for Miley's sake. What kind of person says no to a child's happiness? Don't try to guilt trip me. Miley's happiness is your responsibility, not mine. You're just trying to make me look bad in front of everyone, aren't you? You're doing that all on your own. I don't need to do anything. Haley was picked up by her husband, who rushed over to my house in his car. The urgency in his movements was apparent, but Haley seemed unbothered, almost calm, as if this situation wasn't anything out of the ordinary. After they hurriedly left for the store, they went straight to buy a dress for Miley. I later learned that Haley's mother-in-law, a woman who was quite skilled in traditional methods of dressing, would be the one to handle the dressing. Haley and her husband arrived in the afternoon, and once there, her mother-in-law did what she did best, taking great care to make sure that Miley looked her best for the important occasion. Somehow, despite everything, Miley was able to wear the dress she was meant to wear, and her appearance could still be called a triumph, given the circumstances. The dress was beautiful, the setting was warm, and despite the underlying tension, they managed to pull off what was supposed to be a memorable day for Miley. But the story didn't end there. Things weren't as simple as they seemed on the surface. Once I learned the full details, everything became clear, and it left a bitter taste in my mouth. The money that Haley's in-laws had set aside for Miley's dress, something they had been saving for a long time, was now gone. Instead of being used for its intended purpose, it had been spent on something entirely different, something that no one could have anticipated. Haley had used that money for a high-end beauty device for herself. It was a luxurious, extravagant item, one that had no connection to the family's needs or to Miley's special day. The purpose of the money, which was supposed to go towards an important family event, had been hijacked for personal indulgence. I couldn't help but feel shocked when I first heard the news. The couple, especially the in-laws, had been so focused on providing for Miley, wanting her to feel special and loved on her big day. They had been working hard trying to ensure that everything was perfect for her, only to be confronted with the reality that their good intentions had been undermined by Haley's selfish spending. The idea that such an important moment for their granddaughter had been tainted by this act of carelessness was something that didn't sit well with me at all. The bitterness of the situation wasn't just about the money itself. It was about the blatant disregard for what mattered most, the family and their collective bond. To make matters even worse, it wasn't even the first time this had happened. As the truth came out, it was revealed that Haley had done something like this before on several occasions in the past. She had used family money for her own selfish purposes, things that were far from necessary or important. This wasn't just a one-time mistake, but a pattern of behavior that her in-laws had long been aware of. The sense of betrayal and disappointment was palpable. They had trusted Haley to act responsibly, to honor the family and its values, but each time they turned a blind eye, they were only met with more selfishness. This realization, of course, only made things worse. The damage had already been done and trust had been shattered. In the wake of this discovery, Haley's in-laws were furious, as anyone would be. The feeling of betrayal that accompanied the revelation wasn't something that could be easily swept away. They had tried to support Haley, tried to give her the benefit of the doubt, but it was clear that things had gone too far. The consequences of Haley's actions were inevitable. Her in-laws decided that they would no longer allow her to manage the household finances. They were taking control, and not just of the money, but of the household itself. It wasn't just a simple matter of money anymore. It was about respect, responsibility, and trust. The decision was made quickly, and the change would be permanent. Haley's in-laws would move in with them. This wasn't just a temporary arrangement. This was a drastic shift in the household dynamics. It was a clear sign that the family had had enough. No more would Haley be able to manage things on her own, especially when it came to finances. The responsibility was now in the hands of her mother-in-law, who had always been known for her grace, elegance, and poise. She was a woman who had always conducted herself with dignity, but it was clear that she had reached her limit. Haley's actions had forced her hand, and now she would take charge of the finances to ensure that there were no more mistakes. As for Haley, the situation was overwhelming. She found herself under constant scrutiny, something that she had never experienced before. Every day, her mother-in-law would give her stern lectures, not out of malice, but out of necessity. Haley needed to learn, and learn quickly, that there were consequences for her actions. She couldn't continue to live in a world where money was something to be spent without a second thought. Her family's well-being and the future of her daughter depended on it. The lessons were harsh, but they were also necessary. Every day, Haley felt the weight of the education she was receiving, one that she had never asked for, but one that would shape her for the rest of her life. Her mother-in-law, though kind and well-meaning, was not one to let Haley off easily. The lectures were frequent and they were filled with disappointment and concern. Haley knew that her mother-in-law was not doing this because she hated her, but because she loved her. She was teaching Haley the hard lessons that no one else had been able to teach her. Haley had grown accustomed to living a life of indulgence and excess, but now she had to face the consequences of that lifestyle. The lessons were tough, and at times Haley felt as though she couldn't breathe. It was like she was suffocating under the weight of her own mistakes. Her husband, too, found himself in a difficult position. He loved Haley, but he also loved his parents. It wasn't an easy decision for him to make, but in the end, he supported his parents' choice. He couldn't ignore the fact that Haley had used their money for their own selfish purposes. He had always tried to protect her, to shield her from the consequences of her actions, but this time there was no hiding. The damage had been done, and it was something that could not be undone. He had to choose between loyalty to his wife and loyalty to his parents, and in the end, his loyalty to his family won out. For Haley, the realization hit hard. She had always prided herself on being independent and capable, but now she was forced to confront the reality that she had failed. She had failed herself, her family, and her daughter. The decisions she had made, the actions she had taken, had all led to this moment, and there was no going back. Haley had to come to terms with her own actions, something that she had been avoiding for so long. The road to redemption was long, and it was unclear if she would ever be able to regain the trust that had been lost. But for now, all she could do was accept the lessons that were being forced upon her and try to rebuild her life from the ground up. As for Miley, her future was uncertain. Haley knew that she had to be better, not just for herself, but for her daughter. She couldn't let Miley grow up in a world where selfishness and irresponsibility were the norms. She had to change, and she had to change now. But whether or not she could live up to the expectations of her in-laws and her family was something that only time would tell. It was a sobering thought, and one that Haley could not ignore. But perhaps, in the end, this would be the wake-up call that she needed. Maybe this was the start of something new, a chance for Haley to rebuild her life and earn back the trust that she had so recklessly thrown away. Only time would tell if that was possible. The consequences of Haley's actions had not only impacted her own life, but had rippled through the entire family. It wasn't just about one moment or one mistake. It was about the trust that had been broken and the family dynamics that had been irreparably changed. As Haley tried to navigate the new reality that had been thrust upon her, she had to come to terms with the fact that her actions had consequences beyond just herself. The relationships within the family would take time to heal, if they ever could. And for Haley, the true challenge would lie in her ability to prove that she had learned from her mistakes and could once again earn her place within the family's trust. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.